Okay, so you are here because you are struggling with some form of addiction, whether that is drinking, drugging, sex, addiction to your phone. There are so many different addictions, okay? And you feel like you keep telling yourself that you're going to stop, but you always fall back into the hole of the addiction, into the, yeah, hole. And you desperately, you get to this place once you've done the addiction or whatever it is of your choice, food, so many, right? And after you've done it, you're like, I'm done. However, you are in that cycle. And you now feel you can't even trust yourself because you keep saying that you're going to stop and you haven't. First of all, I think it's important that we address that there are so many different types of addiction. And it's so easy to fall into another addiction after stopping one. So, yeah, someone can pride themselves on being sober for 10 years, and I think that's a wonderful accomplishment. However, if you're still using weed to cope, have you really gotten to the root cause of whatever it is that you're dealing with? Or if you doom scroll until 2 a.m., have you really gotten to the root cause of what it is? And I honestly, be patient with me because this is off the whim. I don't have a script. I don't look these things up. This is through my personal experience. I honestly believe that addiction comes from being super involved in the outside world. What do I mean by that? We have been taught since we were kids that everything comes from outside of us, from without, and not within. So instead of nurturing ourselves from the inside, we've learned to nurture ourselves from the outside. And my computer screen just went out. And this is something that once you realize how to go within and nurture yourself, the game changes. Boo. The game changes. Once I realized how powerful I was from the inside, my life changed. How do you nurture yourself from the inside, Bree? Okay. Oh, now I will say it is important to not indulge in the whatever it is, but also being aware of not doing it with other things. But how do you become aware of if you're doing it? One of the most difficult things for people to do is sit down and meditate because it feels so counterintuitive. We are not taught to sit down and meditate. So when we go to do it, it's like I could be doing something so much more productive than to be doing this right now. But what we don't realize is the inability to sit down and calm our minds is the reason why we are so involved in things outside of us that aren't helping, that are addictions, relationships, overly relying on relationships, overly relying on a drug, overly relying on things outside of ourselves to make us feel good. That's not cool. Like that's not fulfilling. Fulfillment comes from the inside. And what we don't realize is a lot of this is coming from trauma or hurt or things, unresolved trauma, unresolved hurt, and day-to-day things, these things, they pile up. And even me today, when I go without meditating versus when I am meditating consistently, I feel the difference. Even the way that I interact with other people or the way that I interact with my habits. You want to know something that's interesting is when I am in alignment. And what does alignment mean for me? Well, let me say the first part first. When I am in alignment, I don't even desire to do the things that are going to make me feel like crap about myself. It's not even a desire. So I want you to understand that you can get to a place where the things that you are doing now, you don't desire to do them at all. It's not, you're not trying to resist it. And I feel like so many of us, it went out again. So many of us are trying to resist the habits and stop doing them instead of going inside and ridding it that way. I'm pretty sure there's a quote in the Bible somewhere. I'm not very religious. But I think it's something about like taking the taste out of your tongue. Put it down in the comments for us if you know what the quote is. However, it is possible for you to no longer desire to do those things. But it starts with you being able to sit down and be with yourself. So many people don't sit down and just be with themselves. The only time they're with themselves is when they are falling asleep. And sometimes when they can't fall asleep, they're getting up and distracting themselves because they don't want to be with themselves. Or they are. And I want you to understand that this is not just you. If I am not doing the things that I need to do for myself, I fall into this. And people can try to fool you all they want. It happens to everybody. Get living in the world if they are not intentionally sitting down to doing the things that they need to do to nurture their souls. And it starts with meditation, but it's not just meditation. But I genuinely feel meditation is a pillar. That and exercise. Okay, so when it comes down to the whole exercise thing, I want you to understand that exercise doesn't have to be you going to the gym if that's not what you feel comfortable with. What the most important thing about this is moving your energy around in your body. We are energetic beings. We are full of energy, and it has to be moved around or it gets stuck. And oh my gosh, this is why I love working out. And I never really knew why I loved it so much. But once I really got into personal growth and development and realized all the benefits I was receiving, it was more about the way that it made me feel than the way it makes me look. Now, I like looking good and feeling good too. I think that that's important, but it's really more about my mental health and the clarity that it gives me and how it opens up my energy and it makes me a better overall person. And a lot of people don't understand that, but a lot of people do as well. So give credit where credit is due. It's called mind, body, spirit for a reason. Spirit, meditation, body. It's interesting because when it comes to the exercise is mind, body, spirit in a sense. Those of you that know. And then mind, for me, I love reading. I love getting new perspectives. And I think it's imperative to be educating yourself alongside doing these things. So, sometimes you have to be careful with the things that you intake, but for the most part, it's beneficial to get different perspectives outside of your own. If I would have never been introduced to manifestation and the law of attraction, I don't know where I'd be. I probably would have stumbled upon it through something else, but even that, just be sure to take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit. I'm telling you, if you just learn to pour everything into you, you will become such a magnet. I would genuinely say that the things that I've told you in this video right now is, from my experience, the best way to overcome addiction. And just understanding that there are so many different forms of addiction. It is so sneaky, it sneaks up on you. But when you are in alignment, you know what they are. And when you're in alignment, oh, what is alignment? Alignment is when your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are all in alignment. But not even just that, they are morally in alignment. They are not negative. That's what I would say alignment is. So hopefully this is helpful. I put up a question box up on my Instagram where someone said this is what they were struggling with, and I get it. We all do it to some degree. Even me today, if I'm not doing the things that I need to do for myself, I'm in the world. And one of the best things I ever learned that changed my life was to go within. So hopefully that helped. All right.